When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of ShopPay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
This is The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. One day in my early 40s, I went to see a plastic surgeon. Not to get plastic surgery, but because I was starting to get a little self-conscious about the signs of aging on my face. I was too scared to go to some random medical spa, but I figured a facial doctor would be the most trustworthy. As he was evaluating my face, he asked what I did for a living. I told him I was a marathon coach, and he said, "Oh yeah, I get runners in here all the time. They have marathon face." I was shocked, horrified, insulted, and curious. What is marathon face? And did I have it? Apparently, runners who either lose body fat through running or never had much fat to begin with start to show more visible signs of aging sooner in their faces. Couple that with lots of damaging sun exposure from all those hours outside, and you get marathon face. I ended up not feeling comfortable with that doctor, obviously, but it did get me started down a path of taking better care of my skin. And today, I'd like to dive deeper into how running affects your skin and your hair, because it's not all good. But there are ways to make sure you're not sacrificing great skin and hair for your running PRs. Let's get into it. Welcome to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic, and my mission is to help you improve your running, your mindset, and your life with science-backed training and plant-based nutrition. Today, I'm going to get into how running affects your skin and hair. You'll learn why we chafe and how to prevent it, how running can prematurely age your skin, and how to protect your hair from damage caused directly or indirectly from running. This is a topic that's not really discussed too much in the running world, so you might not even realize that running is making your skin and your hair look older than you actually are. I'll also go into what I do personally to age well and look my best, just in case you're interested. If you're a runner that's also starting to think about how aging is affecting you, then I know you're a perfect candidate for the PR team. Not only will you get a custom running schedule created by me, but it will include all your strength, mobility, and more. No more decision fatigue on what you should do today. It's all laid out for you perfectly in the app, which syncs to your running watch. You'll be joining a team of runners just like you, all ages and paces, who are doing the same thing and cheering each other on. It really is the best way to stay accountable and true to your goals, while also getting a built-in group of new running buddies. I'll talk more about the team later on in the show, but if you are ready to learn more right now, head to theplantedrunner.com/group. Don't forget to stay tuned all the way to the end of the episode for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Even if you are blessed with great skin and naturally beautiful hair, running can have a way of ruining them both. It's not so much the running itself that's doing the damage, but it's several factors all working together that can cause irritation and chafing, premature aging, and even hair breakage. Let's start with your skin. Winter running typically means cold outdoor runs and hot showers. While there is nothing better than a hot shower after a cold run, hot water and the soap that you use strip your skin's natural oils, making your skin dry and vulnerable to damage. Cold outdoor air can leave your cheeks chapped and raw. Couple that with sitting in dry indoor heat, and your poor skin will lose even more moisture. The first step is to, of course, protect your skin before you head out the door to run. Sunscreen is not just for summer, and even on a gray day, your skin is susceptible to UV damage, especially if there's snow on the ground reflecting the damaging rays. According to the Skin Cancer Foundation, snow can reflect up to 80% of the sun's harmful rays. So cover up all exposed skin every run with a moisturizing sunscreen of at least SPF 30 every single day, every single run. And what about that skin that isn't exposed? Yes, skin chafing happens in the winter too, as sweaty skin rubs against layers of clothing with every stride. Grab your favorite stick of anti-chafe product and hit those hot spots before they have a chance to chafe. I personally prefer a solid product that glides on kind of like a deodorant, but even good old petroleum jelly will work. If you are going on a really long run, you might want to tuck a travel size stick in your pocket in case the first layer wears off during the run. The next step is your lips. Exhaling moist air out of your mouth over and over again as you run in the cold is a recipe for cracked, dry lips. Coating them with a protective lip balm before you head out is a great start, but the most damaging element for your lips is actually your own saliva. Flavored lip balms can feel good and taste good, but they might actually make the problem worse. Several dermatologists I follow recommend plain old Vaseline instead because it creates a barrier that's not tempting to lick. I've switched all my lip balms over to Vaseline this winter, and it has made a huge difference. Once you get back from your run, grab a drink of water to hydrate yourself as soon as you can. Dehydration is not just a summer thing. You are just as susceptible to it in the winter, and the lack of water can be seen in dry, brittle hair and nails and red, itchy skin. Of course, it needs to be said not to go overboard with hydration either. Being overhydrated is not going to make your skin glow and erase all your wrinkles. It's just going to make you pee more and can even lead to dangerous low sodium levels if you really overdo it. The next step after your run is to get out of your wet running clothes. This should seem obvious, right? But we've all been in a hurry or been distracted after a run, letting our wet clothes stay on our skin too long. Or what about if we've driven to our run and we forgot a change of dry clothes? That means you're sitting in the car for a wet commute home. Wet, sweaty, salty clothes left on our skin will quickly begin to cause irritation, redness, and itchiness, which can last long after the run, so do your best to get dry and warm as soon as possible. All right, now it's time to hit the shower. After an icy run, there is no better feeling in the world than a hot, relaxing shower. But very hot water can take a toll on your skin. So turn the temp down just a little bit so that it doesn't turn your skin red, and try to limit your shower time to about 10 minutes. What about the soap? Most of us have been taught that we need soap after every single run on every single part of our body, or we risk offending everyone at the office with our runner's stench. But it's not always the case for most people. Soap does do a great job of removing dirt, sweat, and oil from our skin, but it also removes our body's natural protective oils as well. So if you're using soap every single shower, every single day, sometimes twice a day, your skin just simply will not be able to keep up. And this is exactly what the people who make soap, lotions, and body oils want. You buy a product to wash off all your natural oils, and then you have to buy a product to put them all back on. And yes, I am guilty of it too, but I try to be sparing of the soap unless I am actually really dirty. I also have very sensitive skin, so I never use soap on my face because it's just too harsh. I rinse my face in the shower, and then sometimes I'll use a couple of drops of jojoba oil afterward to protect it. Jojoba is actually pretty cool. It's not an oil. It is a liquid wax, which is kind of similar to your skin's own protective sebum. So it's great for all skin types. Now, back to marathon face that mean doctor told me about. What else can we do to keep our skin looking its best? I'll go over that and talk about helping your hair right after this. I want to tell you about a unique opportunity for you to get stronger, faster, and stay motivated to hit your running and nutrition goals this year. And that is to join the PR team. Each member of the team gets a custom training plan made by me for you based on your unique fitness goals and lifestyle. Everything you need to achieve your running dreams is included, such as strength training, recovery, and even cross-training if you want it. I include weekly mental strength training as well as training tips and nutrition guides. But here's where it gets really cool. The group has its own page in the app where we share workouts, ask training questions, and get feedback from me and the other teammates. And each week, I create an exclusive private podcast just for the team based on the questions I get and what I see in their training each week. And I usually end up sharing behind the scenes and exclusive sneak peeks with the team that I don't share anywhere else. So instead of joining a Facebook group or sitting through another Zoom call, you get to listen to tailored advice on the run, and you don't have to do this all alone. When you're ready to take your running to the next level and join an amazing team of runners, head to theplantedrunner.com/group and join us today. It's more affordable than you think, and I can't wait to have you. The Planted Runner is sponsored by Liquid IV. Story time. When I first started running, I just went out and ran until I had to stop. Then I walked home. No fueling, no hydration, no plan at all. It actually kind of worked, but I was out there a long time until I finally figured out there's a better way to train. And it turns out there's a better way to hydrate than just water. Rehydrate with Liquid IV's Energy Multiplier, sugar-free hydrating energy. It's scientifically formulated to support physical energy, hydration, focus, mood, and social stamina, so it's perfect when you need a little boost on the run. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by Live Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. Rehydrate better with better hydration and energy from Liquid IV, zero sugar and zero crash. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at liquidiv.com. Welcome back to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. I once heard a dermatologist say that the skin on an 80-year-old's butt isn't that much different than a 30-year-old's. Now, I can't say that I've seen an 80-year-old butt, so I just have to trust him on that one. But the point is, the number one sign of skin aging isn't age at all. It's sun damage. As you know, I'm a redhead, so protecting my skin has been a top priority since my 20s when I finally accepted that I was never going to tan. I wear SPF 50 sunscreen every single day of my life, rain or shine, and I can say without a doubt, this is the most important step to protect your skin. But you just can't smear a pea-size amount on in the morning and call it good. Experts recommend using the 2-finger rule for your face and neck, which is squeezing out a strip of sunscreen on your middle and index fingers. This is a lot more than most people use. And don't forget, no sunscreen, no matter how expensive, will last all day. So reapply at least every 2 hours if you are out all day. Part of why faces start to look older has to do with wrinkles, and the other part is to do with skin laxity, mainly from volume loss. And by volume, I mean fat. When we lose fat in our faces, the skin appears to droop downward over our bones. This is why people who carry more fat in their faces can appear younger. And it's also why we now have the phrase Ozempic face and apparently marathon face. Fast weight loss, whether it's from GLP-1s or from running, can make our faces look older. Unfortunately, we can't control where our bodies choose to store fat. If hollow-looking eyes and drooping cheeks are bothering you, there are injectable solutions, and of course, there's surgery if you choose that route. I personally use Botox or Dysport around my eyes a few times a year, and I have gotten a very subtle amount of under-eye filler by a very talented injector. I never want to look done or overfilled, and I am very happy with my natural-looking results. But the most impactful thing I've done with my skin in my 40s and now in my 50s is skincare. Sunscreen and vitamin C are staples every single morning. At night, I use a peptide serum and a prescription estradiol and tretinoin, followed by Eucerin moisturizer. That's it. No 12-step routine, just consistency every single day. Kind of like your fitness routine, right? I also prioritize good sleep and nutrition, and I really don't drink alcohol anymore. Now let's get into hair. My hair, honestly, has never looked better, and I've been doing a few things differently lately that I want to share with you. Running can wreak havoc on hair in many of the same ways that it does for your skin. The sun can absolutely hurt your hair and scalp, just like your face, so cover it up with a hat every run. If you wash your hair with shampoo after every single run or workout and then hit the blow dryer and then the straightening iron or the curling iron just to pull it back into a too tight ponytail for your next run, it's no wonder your hair will suffer. Is it really essential that you wash your hair after every run? For most people, the answer is honestly no. If your hair is naturally straight or prone to greasiness if you skip a day, then maybe you are in the group that needs to lather up each shower. But if you have dry or color-treated hair that breaks easily, too frequent shampooing can be part of the problem. Curly hair also tends not to need washing quite as much because it's harder for your natural oils to slide down curly strands. So stripping away the oil that you've got will make things worse. What I've learned recently is that your hair being dirty isn't really the problem most of the time. What you want to focus on is your scalp. Your scalp can be the perfect host for yeast and fungus, making it less hospitable for healthy hair to grow. A healthy scalp is what leads to healthy hair, so focus more on washing your head, not your hair. Heat damage is the next enemy of your hair, from blow drying to heat styling. The type of hairdryer you use can make a huge difference, so look for an ionic or brushless hairdryer that is more powerful without so much heat. I've also learned that heat protectant is an essential product before using heat, and adding this step has made a big difference in how long I'm able to grow my hair. I've also switched to heatless curlers at night instead of using a curling iron or a flat iron during the day. It is such an easy switch for nearly effortless curls. Another sneaky cause of hair damage is how you wear your hair on the run. Is your hair breaking at the hairline, or perhaps further towards the back of your head? Or maybe it just seems to refuse to grow long after a certain point? These are all signs of too tight ponytails. The ponytail is a classic running hairstyle because it's quick and it's easy and it does the job of getting your hair out of your face while you run. But it can also literally be pulling your hair out. More gentle styles for your hair are braids or fabric headbands. If you still prefer the pony, be sure that you're using a gentle ponytail holder, such as a fabric-covered scrunchie or a coiled holder. Elastic rubber bands are a big no-no. And if you look like you've just had a facelift after pulling back your hair, your ponytail is too tight. Running is great for our minds and our bodies, but it doesn't have to ruin our skin and hair while we're at it. Protect the skin and hair you have before and after the run, and hopefully no one will accuse you of having marathon face. And now it's time for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Today's topic is mood follows action. If you run long enough, there will be a time when you don't feel like running or strength training or cleaning your house. But nearly every time you go and do it anyway, you feel better when you are done. Your mood lifts because you did the thing that you didn't feel like doing. So run no matter what your mood. When you don't feel like cleaning your house because you're in a bad mood, put on a podcast and clean your house. When you stop letting your mood dictate your actions and instead take action to change your mood, you will be unstoppable. Thank you for listening to The Planted Runner, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Don't forget that you can enter to win a free custom training plan for your next race and get featured on the show. Just write an Apple Podcast review and enter at theplantedrunner.com/PRLab. Of course, reviews are the #1 way to boost this show's reach, and it's a great way to tell me what you'd like to hear next because I read every single one. Have a great run today.